The age of the Dragon Balls has come to a halting stop in our story today, but this wouldn't be the first time something like this has happened. In the early years after the battle against Majin Buu, the negative power that had manifested itself within the Dragon Balls after each use had created an apocalyptic terror known as the Shadow Dragons. Each formed from careless wish after wish with the Dragon Balls throughout history. Each Shadow Dragon possessed some sort of unique ability that caused the Z Fighters an enormous amount of trouble, but it wasn't until Sin Shenron absorbed all of the Dragon Balls that their fearsome power was truly realized. Omega Shenron was the pure manifestation of the dark energy the Dragon Balls had absorbed over the decades, but thanks to Goku and Vegeta and a little help from unforeseen powers, Omega Shenron was reduced to nothing and had the negative energy cancelled out. Years have passed since then, and the arrival of Vegeta's brother Rigger has caused disaster on Earth. A drawn-out battle with this mysterious Saiyan was the last thing Vegeta expected when he first arrived, even already anticipating that Rigger was far stronger. However, even the full power of his Super Saiyan 4 form, as well as Goku's, whose return to Earth mid-battle, were no match for Rigger. In a last-ditch attempt to buy Goku and Vegeta time for their trump card, Piccolo, Gohan, and Trunks put their lives on the line for only a few moments, allowing Goku and Vegeta to fuse into the all-powerful Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta. Even the power of the Ultimate Saiyan fusion paled in comparison to the one beyond a Super Saiyan 4, as Gogeta, who looked advantageous at first, soon felt the toll of a long drawn-out battle with Rigger, who grew stronger with every passing second since transforming. In one final beam clash, Rigger looked to finally overwhelm Gogeta once and for all, as the Saiyans collided with their most powerful attacks. Rigger, still growing in power however, continued to push Gogeta back, and right when the fusion was about to let up, Rigger's body gave way to the cost of his new form. His body began to destroy itself from the inside as his muscles ripped apart, and this split second of weakness was Gogeta's only chance to overpower him, and with a Big Bang Kamehameha, it seemed that Rigger was done. Moments later, after the fusion finally fizzled out and the Z Fighters were undergoing recovery, Rigger slammed back into the earth still alive even after being engulfed by the Big Bang Kamehameha. Extremely wounded and exhausted of all of his power, Rigger falls to the ground unconscious, and this is when his wife Sapari shows back up to retrieve her husband so they can escape. With Rigger gone for now, but more than likely to return soon, everything seems peaceful once again. However, Oob and Goten are still dead from the battle, and the only thing Goku and the others can think of is to use the Black Dragon Balls. This is a new saga in the original fan-made manga by Malik Studios called Dragon Ball New Age. Rigger may be gone for the moment, but there isn't a second to rest for the Z Fighters as evil continues to thrive in Universe 7. At the first mention of the Dragon Balls, the Elder Kai cuts in telepathically from the Kai's world, forbidding them from ever using the Black Dragon Balls again. The regular Dragon Balls created by Kami dispelled negative energy with each use, however the Black Dragon Balls, created by Piccolo, devoured positive energy from their surroundings, and if ever used for good and selflessness, they'll absorb far more from their surroundings, and the end result will be even more catastrophic than the original Shadow Dragons. In return for the Z Fighters' help in the past, however, with things such as Majin Buu, the Elder Kai grants them permission to use the Black Dragon Balls one final time and one time only to wish back those that had died in the fight with Rigger, but they'll have to wait about a month for the Dragon Balls to recharge their power. This final use of the Dragon Balls could be the difference between restoration in Universe 7 and the total destruction of it being solely their fault. 1 month's time will decide the fate of reality, but today, the first step in everyone's training for the final engagement begins. As always, if you guys want to check out Dragon Ball New Age for yourselves, the link to the original fan manga as well as Malik Studios page will be down below in the description, so be sure to go have a look if you're interested. If you haven't already, be sure to have those notifications turned on to never miss a single upload, guys. And if you've been enjoying all of the Dragon Ball content recently, consider leaving a like on this video as well, it really helps out a ton. Don't forget to follow on both Twitch and Twitter to stay up with me and all anime related content, but without further ado. The story of Dragon Ball New Age began with Trunks and Pan stumbling into a cave in a mysterious region barren of life, and inside, they came across a set of Black Dragon Balls. Since then, these have kind of been forgotten about with all of the terror caused by Rigger, but now, the Z Fighters seem to have no other choice than to call upon their powers. And so the month goes on. Day by day, the city begins its rebuilding process as all of our heroes go on to continue their training for what may lie ahead. Each and every day saw Goku and Gohan training under the cliffs of Mount Paozu, pushing each other as their sparring intensified, moving forward towards new levels of strength. Back at Capsule Court, Vegeta, after reconciling with the events of his past, has had his will set aflame once again and uses his 1 month to intensely prepare himself and Trunks as well. Even in Otherworld, this month isn't going to waste, as Goten and Oob excel in their training with each other as well. In every facet of the Z-Fighters Legions, the warriors are preparing themselves for the worst. However, high above the clouds at Kami's lookout, not all training seems to be the same, as Piccolo finds his efforts extremely lackluster compared to everyone else. "Nothing I do is working," Piccolo says to himself, disappointed. "No matter how hard I train, the others make 5 strides for every 1 I make. It honestly seems that my own training methods have reached their limit." "Well," a familiar voice says from behind him, and when we turn around, we see Dende watching Piccolo closely. "A new method, perhaps?" Dende asks. "I need more than a new method," Piccolo replies. "New styles, new techniques, a complete reinvigoration of myself." "Well," Dende continues, and then he leads him into the lookout. "Come inside with me, Piccolo. I think I've acquired something from my trip back home that may be of surprising use to you." The two walk deep inside the lookout until presumably stopping at Dende's room as he tells Piccolo to wait outside. Shrouded in cloth and hidden away where only he could find it, Dende retrieves the gift for Piccolo and meets him back outside. "Well, here it is," Dende says, handing the cloth to Piccolo. "A book?" he replies. "Oh, come on now," Dende says. "You should know me better than that. This is no ordinary book." As Dende continues to unwrap the cloth, a mysterious aura can begin to be felt. "Surely even you recognize the Book of Namek," he says, finally revealing the contents of the cloth. A book containing the ancient text and history among the Namekian people, as well as history and information far beyond most mortal comprehension. One of the most coveted historical pieces in the entirety of Universe 7. The Book of Namek?" Piccolo stutters, shocked to be in the presence of such a significant piece of his heritage. "But how? Was it not destroyed along with our homeworld?" "Indeed it was, actually," Dende replies, "but during my visit with Miri, the Namekian elder, he told me a fascinating story, one I hadn't heard before." Dende then goes on to recall how the elder told him how long ago, before the disaster that devastated Namek, there existed beings called Sages of Namek. The sages were wise and powerful beings, warriors taken from each of our tribes. It was they who created our ancient ways of combat and protected the Dragonballs, but when the cataclysm began, they died out trying to stop it. This is when Piccolo begins to recall a similar story the Great Elder told to a part of him, to Nail, long ago. In the early days of the Namekians, when a worthy warrior arose, he would be permitted to take on training to become a sage. As a sage, the chosen Namekian will gain access to extremely powerful knowledge and magic. The teachings of the sages will be bound and inscribed within a mystical text that would come to be known now as the Book of Namek. It's through this very book that a Namekian can gain the will of the sages. In order to keep the sages' teachings from dying out, the Great Elder, the last living sage, passed down the knowledge of the sages to each elder. Since their arrival on the new Namek, the elders have been attempting to recreate the Book of Namek. "This is the fruit of all of their hard work and labor," Dende says, holding the book. "Elder Miri's tale inspired me, so I asked him to consider you." "He was a bit hesitant at first, given your history," Dende goes on, "but eventually he gave me the decree to allow you to become the next Namekian sage." "Well, thank you for your confidence in me," Piccolo responds, "but I fear we just don't have the time." Dende just smirks though, as he tells Piccolo that if everything the elder told him is true, then time is no issue. You can do all your training here. "In here?" Piccolo asks, surprised that he's expected to train in this tiny room for a month, but Dende reassures him. "Trust me, Piccolo," he says, "it's more than enough." "Very well," Piccolo agrees. "What must I do?" "Simple," Dende replies. "All you have to do is open the book. Piccolo hesitantly grabs the book and, upon opening it, is shocked at what he sees. The pages, he gasps, they're all blank. All of a sudden, a blinding light begins to emit from the book that becomes bigger and brighter by the second. What happens next seems to be almost something straight out of a fairy tale. As the blinding light consumes the entire room, Piccolo's mind and spirit seem to be getting pulled towards the pages themselves until eventually, in the blink of an eye, he disappears, leaving the book behind that closes shut on the desk. "Good luck on your journey, my friend," Dende says, as an ancient power is on the horizon to be revealed.